Good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, November 3rd, and we got a Steeler victory last night. Whoop, whoop. What's going on, boys?
What's up?
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
All right. That is awesome. It was a great win. I have zero faith in this team every single game until kickoff. Once kickoff happens, I'm 1,000,000% locked in. We have a midget quarterback, a college quarterback. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. We'll get through it. TJ Watt's the greatest player in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I know you wanted to sit here and debate Sellers' assist for 10 minutes, but I think we might debate a quarterback situation here in Pittsburgh. Saw 7 missed passes in the first 20 minutes of that game last night. And, man, I don't know if Mitch is the answer either, but hey, I think we got a controversy even with the 5-3 football team.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. We will see.
People say he's just a winner. I'm all for that. Winners win, but man, he looked bad.
Nothing better than a Thursday night win. You get to watch all weekend like you're on cloud nine. Sunday will happen. We got now a game in Germany Sunday morning. It is just a wonderful weekend. So enjoy yourself, Pittsburgh. A Steeler victory. Now let's get into some real fun. So we are two days into a winning streak in the mortgage world. We have not seen 2+ days for rates since March, boys. Since all those banks started collapsing back in March. I don't know if you guys saw old Sam Bankman-Fried going down for about 100 years, hopefully.
Don't commit fraud.
Yeah, don't commit fraud. But since March, we haven't had 2 positive days back-to-back like this. Now, today, the jobs report comes out. This is the stickler. Will we continue 3 days in a row heading back towards 7% even? Or is this jobs report going to say the market is still stronger than the Fed wants and we're still going to stay up around 8? We don't know yet. We're hoping. Again, we're not hoping for a bad economy, but we are hoping for a bad economy for mortgage rates. What do you guys think?
Are we doing predictions?
Yeah.
All right. I think there's going to be added jobs, man. Holiday help, all that.
Okay, so Anthony's predicting rates to go up today.
Or stay the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom, how about you?
I'm predicting steady, stay the same. I think they're kind of getting them to where they want them to be. They don't want to keep pushing them up. They don't want to keep dropping them too low. I think they're going to slowly start to tick down, regardless if there is good news today.
I'm going to continue with this market stinks. The economy stinks. The jobs report is going to stink, and we're going to continue to see rates dropping. But I may not be right, but we'll see.
No, yeah, it's kind of give and take. I mean, you want to it's tough because mortgages, we don't want to see the jobs, but I mean, overall for people's well-being, you do. So when we say it stinks, it stinks on our end, but it might not stink overall as a whole.
It stinks overall as a whole, Tom. I don't know if you've seen, it stinks. Okay. The whole economy stinks. Everything costs $1 million. You can't go to the grocery store and afford groceries. It all stinks. It stinks for everyone.
Bidenomics, but hey, trying to be positive heading into the weekend here.
Okay, we'll be positive. This is how we're going to be positive. We're going to show buyers and agents how to get their offers accepted with a market that's shifting to help everyone. And it's this simple. We keep harping on it, but it's called seller assistance. For years and years and years, seller assistance has always been used just to lower buyers' closing costs. Hey, Mr. Seller, can you help me with some of my closing costs so I can keep some of the money in my pocket? You can still do that with seller assistance, but with the higher interest rates, you also can use the funds the seller is giving you to buy down the interest rate. That will keep the rates lower for everyone. That will keep the market going, and that will make everyone happy. Now, of course, A seller is not going to give this up if they don't have to. So if you are selling a house that's in a hot area and it's going to go quick and your agent's saying, hey, you're still going to have multiple offers, well, then you probably don't have to offer this. But if you are a seller or you are a listing agent and the house isn't selling as quickly as you wanted, don't reduce the price. Please, oh, please, don't reduce the price. That is like fool's gold. You're going to reduce the price to save dollars when you can reduce the interest rate to save hundreds of dollars potentially. And that's what we need to do. So when we talk about seller assistance is something that's negotiable. It's regarded in every single mortgage transaction, but depending on the type of loan you're getting is going to depend on how much seller assistance you can ask for. Every single loan type is different. Now, because the market is coming off of a seller's market, we've only been talking about 3% seller assistance because pretty much every loan type you can get at least 3%. But we're going to talk here, you can get more than 3% in some cases, and even buy down your rate more or use it for both cases. So let's get into seller assistance, different loan types. And we'll start with conventional loans because they're still the most popular loan out there. Let's go over seller assistance with conventional because it's definitely going to matter how much you put down compared to how much seller assistance you can get.
Yeah, conventional is a little trickier than your normal government, but if a client's doing less than 10% down, the max seller's assist they can get is 3% of the purchase price. If they do 10% or more, then they can ask for 6%. If they do 25% down, they can actually ask for 9%. That's not really common as much as the 3 and the 6%, but yeah, so 3% or 6%, but you have to do more down payment to get the 6 on conventional.
Absolutely. And you're right. The 9% usually would never make sense because there's never going to be enough closing costs there. But with buying down rates, you can increase your closing costs with that rate buy down. So if you're putting 25% down and you think you can get 9% assist, go get it. We can use that on the financing side to help you 100%. So definitely take those guidelines into effect. Like Anthony said, we've been talking about 3% a lot, but you can get up to 9% in some cases on conventional, though 3 or 6% are more common. Now, on the caveat side of that for Anthony, with a conventional investment property, right? An investment loan is different. We get this all the time. It can only be 2% seller assistance no matter what on an investment loan. So that is a different side of things. There's so many times we'll get an offer accepted investment property and they got the 3 or 6% assist, and that's not going to work. So we have to cut that assistance, and that can cause some issues.
For sure. One thing to throw in on that thing is no gifts on investments either. That could trip some people up.
Absolutely. All right. So we're going to keep this going, Tom. Loan number 2 that is most popular, FHA. Take it away.
So FHA, you are allowed to get 6% seller's assist. It depends on, the house and how much the taxes will be. If it is a lower valued house, it's going to be difficult to get the full 6% because the closing costs, there won't be enough. But like Ryan said, if there is enough to buy down the rate, we could do closing costs as well as the rate buy down. So don't be afraid to go after that full 6%. We'll figure out a way. It's better to ask for more than less. And what's that old saying? It's better ask for forgiveness than
Permission.
Exactly.
Yeah, I live my life by that saying.
So ask for it, get it. And then, if we need to go back to the seller and say, hey, seller, you actually get to keep $500 more, he'll be thrilled as well. So don't be afraid to ask for it. We'll be able to figure some way to use as much as we can. The reason it is that 6% in most regards for the closing cost is because the buyer has to come with their down payment amount. So we do need to make sure they're coming with their 3.5% minimum down. But then we can use it to buy down the rate as well as get rid of all the closing costs.
And remember, FHA, primary residence only, but you can go up to 1 to 4 units. So if you're that buyer that wants to have 3 units rented and you're going to live in one, FHA is that great opportunity, and you can get that seller assistance. I will follow up with USDA or rural housing. We do have a lot of rural housing available in our market, and that's generally outside of Allegheny County, though there are parts out in Plum. I know West Allegheny, there's a little bit parts that are USDA. So you can get USDA, but it's mostly for rural housing. It's 1 unit only, though. You can't go more than 1 unit. Same as FHA, 6% seller assistance. And when we say these percentages, it's always a percent of the purchase price. 3% of the purchase price, 6% of the purchase price, etc. So FHA and USDA are very common. They're just 6% of the purchase price. FHA, you can go up to 4 units when purchasing as long as you're living in one of the units, where USDA only allows that 1 unit. So those are the 3 easier programs. We're going to send it back around to Anthony here to talk about the VA, because VA is probably the only loan program I see that you have kind of a difference in lenders of what they'll offer on seller assistance. And we at West Penn believe, frankly, most lenders are doing it incorrectly.
Yeah. So, I mean, most lenders are going to cap it at 4% of the purchase price for seller's assist, which is not the VA guidelines. So the VA guideline actually states that the seller can pay all the closing costs for the buyer and 4% towards escrows and prepaid. So taxes, homeowners insurance, odd days interest has to fit into 4%. So, but typically a 6% seller's assist will cover, most of those costs. So if not all of them. So, and that's kind of the normal, in most cases, but the seller can actually pay for all of them.
So here's the bottom line. If you're a buyer and you're sitting on the sideline, and either 1 or 2 reasons are the reason you're sitting on the sideline. 1, the rate is too high for you. 2, closing costs are too much for you. You can negotiate with your offer. This is not 2021. Don't just sit there and throw your hands up and say, oh gosh, I'm never going to get an offer accepted. It's not 2021. Talk to your real estate agent. If you need one, we can recommend one, and get back in the market before these rates drop, before you have millions of buyers coming back into the market and you're not able to get a house again. You can always refinance in the future and make your mortgage better for you, but you need to get in this house sooner before later. That's my tip for this Friday. Call us for any open house needs you have. And got anything to finish up, fellas?
No. Enjoy your weekend.
All right. Hit them long, hit them straight, Tommy.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Stay warm, man.
Later.